welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living here in beautiful Boise, Idaho. This morning, on the keyboards, our musical director, the effervescent, the bubbly, the ever-lively Rex Miller. And holding our feet to the fire and keeping us grounded on that bass, our guru with the guitar, Mr. Ted McClurg. And in the back there, the heartbeat of this band, the heartbeat of this church, bound in those skins like a caveman, the ever-lovable Phill Bowden.
Thank you so much. And today we have our, as you already know, Miss Becky Borczon. She is our guest singer today. We're so grateful to have her. Give her a big hand, Miss Becky.
Thank you. Nobody can tell ya there's only one song worth singing. They may try and sell ya, 'cause it hangs 'em up to see someone like you. But you gotta make your own kind of music, sing your own special song, make your own kind of music, even if nobody else sings along. You're gonna be nowhere, the loneliest kind of lonely. It may be rough going just to do your things, the hardest thing to do. So you gotta make your own kind of music, sing your own special song, make your own kind of music, even if nobody else sings along. So if you cannot take my hand, and if you must be going, I will understand. You got to make your own kind of music, sing your own special song, make your own kind of music, even if nobody else sings along. You got to make your own kind of music, sing your own special song, make your own kind of music, even if nobody else sings along. Yeah.
Oh, wasn't that amazing? Wouldn't you like to hear a little bit of it again? Oh, please, please, just a little bit. The ending part again. It's so perfect.
Yeah,
Yes. How can you just sit in your seats? Don't you
What?
want to sing along?
Well, do. Make your own kind of music.
How's that, Deborah?
Sing your own special song. Sing. Make your own kind of music, even if nobody else sings along. You got to make your own kind of music and sing your own special song. Make your own kind of music, even if nobody else sings along. And that's the truth.
Oh, I've just got goosebumps. That's magnificent. And now I have to try to do what I'm supposed to do up here. All right, so let's just take a deep breath in. My name is Deborah Whitman, and I am one of the practitioners here at the Center for Spiritual Living. And I will be sharing a reading with you from Reverend Dr. Margaret Stortz. It's entitled Replacing Fear with Faith. Fear is costly, pervasive frame of mind. It inhibits, it paralyzes clear thinking, and impedes a healthy flow of mental action. Fear is a denial of our highest form of good, so to speak. Holmes wrote that fear blocks the more complete givingness of the spirit to its highest form of manifestation on this planet, which is humankind. Yet I have known only a handful of people in my life who were free of fear. Many of us, and I am one of these people, find ourselves walking through fear a lot. There is fear of the unknown, and certainly the fear that things may not turn out the way we planned, in any number of ways, to blunt our track to the infinite presence, I do not believe it is wise to get all upset with ourselves if we find we are expressing fear. If we do, the upset will only grow and create more fear. Better we should cultivate fear's great antidote, and that is the faith that the universe, by its nature, brings us life, vitality, and possibility. If we find ourselves ruminating over fear and dread, we can immediately begin to stop the morbid cycle and re-gear, rethink, and recalculate. We will have to bring to a halt a malicious, self-defeating stream of negativity. But when we recognize what we are doing to ourselves, we can turn once more to faith in the divine. And so now I invite you to just get a little more comfortable in your seat, to possibly close your eyes or move your gaze downward to avoid any distractions. And let's just take a minute to breathe in the sacredness of this space, to breathe in the joy of those you're sharing this community with, and to just breathe in life. We will now begin our candle lighting, and it is my honor to introduce Ted McClurg, who will light the world religions candles from the Christ candle. In religious science, we perform this ceremony to acknowledge that all people and all faiths come from one great universal presence, which we call spirit. In lighting these candles, we honor the one family of humanity, made up of over 4,000 religions and spiritual traditions throughout the world. We light the first candle to honor the Christian faith, which teaches the Christ consciousness as the path to love. We light the second candle to honor Islam. Their chief religious discipline is prayer. Here we learn, treat people kindly in this world and you will have kindness. We light the third candle in honor of Taoism. It is pointed out, can you not see that wisdom is trust, goodness is acceptance, and contentment is simplicity? We light the fourth candle for Buddhism. The goal of Buddhism is to let go, so we light this candle for release. The fifth and final candle honors new thought, letting go of all that opposes your purpose, a reliance on the law of God, and an unqualified trust in spirit. So now let's quiet our minds and open our hearts to the message being sung by Becky Borczon.
I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. And I am stronger every moment, every day. My mind is willing and my heart is open wide. I trust my instincts and let spirit
be my guide. I vow to live a life that's real and pure and free. As I continue walking in this mystery, I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. And I'm more grateful every moment, every day. There may be walls, there may be roadblocks in my way, but I can choose to take a higher path each day. And now I know that what I thought was safe and sound was only habit and regret that held me down. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. And I am kinder every moment, every day. I'm more forgiving every moment, every day. I will surrender every moment, every day.
Please join me in prayer. As I recognize that one divine presence, that infinite intelligence, that power that woke me up this morning, that woke each of us up this morning, that brought us here to this center, knowing that this is the place that we needed to be at this time, and knowing that right now nothing else matters, that everything here is what we need. So it is from this place of knowing that I can speak this word. And I say thank you, Spirit, for all of the hearts and hands that came together this morning to make this service possible. The greeters, the musicians, hospitality, all of it. And I especially say thank you to each one of you for being here this morning, for making this a beautiful service. So I just release it. I let it go, release it into the law, and let God do God's work. And together we say Namaste, Om, Shanti, Ashe, Amen, Aho, and so it is. And now let's welcome the beautiful Becky Borczon.
number one, you're supposed to have it all together. And when they ask how you're doing, just smile and tell them, oh, never better. Right. Line number two, everybody's life is perfect except yours. So leave your scars and your wounds and your mistakes safe with you behind closed doors. Truth be told, the truth is rarely told. I say I'm fine, oh I'm fine, yeah I'm fine, hey I'm fine, but I'm not. I'm broken, and when it's out of control I say it's under control, but it's not. And you know it. I don't know why it's so hard to admit it, but being honest is the only way to fix it. There's no failure, no fault, no mistake you don't already know. So let the truth be told. There's a sign on the door, says come as you are, but I doubt it. 'Cause if we acted as if there were true, every pew would be crowded. Didn't you say the church should be more like a hospital? A safe place for the sick, the wounded, and the scarred, and the prodigal, like me. Truth be told, the truth is rarely told. I say I'm fine, oh I'm fine, yeah I'm fine, hey I'm fine, but I'm not. I'm broken, and when it's out of control I say it's under control, but it's not. And you know it. I don't know why it's so hard to admit it, when being honest is the only way to fix it. There's no failure, no fault, no mistake you don't already know. So let the truth be told. Can I really stand here unashamed, knowing that your love for me won't change? Oh God, if that's really true, then let the truth be told. I say I'm fine, oh I'm fine, hey I'm fine, yeah I'm fine, but I'm not. I'm broken, and when it's out of control, I say it's under control, but it's not. And you know it. I don't know why it's so hard to admit it, that being honest is the only way to fix it. There's no failure, no fault, no mistake you don't already know. I know. There's no failure, no fault, no mistake you don't already know. Oh, so let the truth be told. Yeah.
With us and greet us, but that's not happening this morning because she is at home recovering from allergies and laryngitis. So laryngitis does not work well with being on the pulpit. So we have another speaker this morning, Sandra Cavanaugh. Now let me share some information about Sandra. She is a creativity and communication specialist, transformational coach, consultant, motivational speaker, educator, podcast host, and best-selling author. How do you find time to do any of that? Using her signature program, Spontaneous Brilliance, Sandra's mission is to create a world where everyone's unique creative genius is shared and respected regardless of their education or perceived abilities. She's also an award-winning, nearly 40-year veteran of the entertainment industry as a writer, director, actress, producer, singer-songwriter, and teacher of acting and improvisation. Now I'm going to move right on down to say she is the proud mother of 5 remarkable daughters. That's a lot in itself. Sandra's personal journey as a mother has made her a fierce advocate for children in foster care, adoption, children's mental health, FASD, autism, neurodiversity, LGBTQ rights, and creativity in education. Now, these are many, many accomplishments, but here's what I know to be true for Sandra. She has a huge heart full of love. She is not afraid to be vulnerable, and she walks her talk. So let's welcome Sandra Cavanaugh.
Hi. I really feel blessed to be here with you today. I'm going to take a quick sip of water. And I'm just going to tell you, the way this whole thing came about is yesterday, in the middle of the day, I got a text from Reverend Jackie, and she said, is there any chance that you're available to speak tomorrow? Would you be willing to do that? Please, 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 please. And no pressure. and I said, sure. And then I said to Rex, hey, Reverend Jackie is sick and she's unable to speak, so she asked me to speak. And he goes, really, what'd you say? And I said, yes. And he goes, you did? What are you going to talk about? I have no idea. And that's true. But as any improviser will tell you, you're supposed to say yes. When the opportunity arrives, you say yes. And as any even novice improviser will tell you, you don't just say yes, you say yes and. And so I decided, as I thought about it a little bit, that that would be the topic of my talk, saying yes. And then the more I thought about it, I thought, okay, it needs to be yes and. And then I thought, you know, I hear a lot of troubled talk in the world today. And so how do we yes and the tough stuff? You know, I've been working with improvisation and acting for a lot of years, and those of you that don't know me, those of you that do know me and know all this, just hang on for a second. I'm going to explain something to everybody else here. But I've been teaching acting and improv for almost 40 years, and I used to say all the time, and I still say all the time, to my acting students and to actors I would be directing, I would say, in acting as in life, this thing is true. You know, they'd ask me a question about something in acting class, and I'd say, well, in acting as in life, this is true. In improv as in life, we do this thing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it took me about 30 years, because I'm a little slow on the uptake, to notice that that's not just a coincidence, that Shakespeare's line that all the world's a stage is maybe not just a pretty piece of poetry, but a metaphorical roadmap to how we can show up here on what I call the great stage of life. And so I began to look at the world, as I started to develop spontaneous brilliance, as being a world where this is the great stage of life, and each of us is a soul, right, that is the player, that is playing a character here, this egoic self, this body that we are showing up as. We are playing a role here on the great stage of life, right? So I recognized that everything, every truism, every technique, everything that makes for a successful performance on the stage does exactly the same thing when applied to the great stage of life, right? So if it works for making your life on the stage better, it works for making your life on this stage better. And so the first thing that I ever teach a coaching client or an acting student is that in improvisation, well, first I'm going to say, Yeah, no, I'm going to say this. Okay. In improvisation, there are only 3 things you can ever be doing, right? Only 3 things. That's it. Everything you say, everything you do in an improv is one of 3 things. You are either making an offer, you are accepting an offer, or you are blocking an offer. And you want to make offers, accept offers, and not block offers, right? And so since life is, by definition, literally, dictionary definition, a 24/7 improvisation, then in life, same thing is true. In life, all you are ever doing is one of those 3 things. You are either making an offer, you are accepting an offer, or you are blocking an offer. And again, we want to make offers, we want to accept offers, and we don't want to block offers, right? So I have clients, corporate clients, that I will teach about offering and accepting and not blocking as I'm working with them in their communication styles with their folks in their companies. And I had this executive coaching client once several years ago, and she was new to management. And she was very, very good at it, but every once in a while she'd get confounded if she was in a contentious situation or a confusing situation. And she would call me and she would say, "Hey, have you got a minute? I have no idea how to yes and this situation." And what she was saying was that yes and is a technique that is really used a lot in like corporate America now. It's used everywhere, but it was originally, it was a theater game that was developed by a woman named Bowden, who was an American improv teacher many, many years ago. And she developed this theater game that would force people to accept and then offer. Because young students just starting out in improv, we don't like to offer because we're kind of afraid that it's going to sound stupid. And we don't accept because if we've got a good idea, we don't want somebody to say something that we're going to have to respond to differently than what we had planned. But important safety tip, you can't plan an improv, right? So in the theater game of yes and, you literally have to say, when someone says something, they offer something like, do you see that purple water buffalo over there? Where'd that come from? Then you have to say, yes, I see it, and don't stare, he's very shy, right? So you just have to put something onto the and, right? And you could say, and he's my brother, or and I grew him in a petri dish in my basement, or whatever, right? So whatever the and is, it makes you offer one. And in the game, you literally say yes and. In life, in a situation where I'm coaching somebody, I just teach them to think the yes, right? To say, I see you, I hear you, whatever it is that they're saying. Yes, I understand what you're saying. Let me suggest that this is maybe a way that we can work on it together, whatever. So you're saying and, right? But maybe not out loud. Well, so I was thinking about this yesterday when I was thinking, yeah, I want to talk about yes-anding. And I was thinking about that executive and her saying, I have no idea how to yes-and this conversation. And I was thinking about the fact that I hear that all the time now. I used to chuckle when she'd call me. She maybe called me like 10, 12 times in 2 years. Now, almost every day, somebody says something like, how can I accept what's going on in the world? How can I deal with what I'm seeing on TV? How can I, right? And there are lots of icky things going on right now, And the way to yes and that is the same way that we yes and anything in our personal lives that might be a challenge or might be difficult. We say yes. We accept. You see, because accepting in improvisation and in life, accepting means acknowledging. Just like offering is anything that you add into an improv that builds on what the person gave before, an offer in life is anything that you offer that adds to the circumstance as it exists. right? And so accepting, this often confuses people just because of the word accepting. It doesn't mean you're saying, yeah, that's okay with me. It means you're saying, yes, I get it. I see that. Yes, that is a fact in front of me. I am noticing that. I am taking that in. And I am responding. Okay? And blocking is any time in an improv that you negate or ignore the offer being made by somebody else, right? In life, it's any time you negate or ignore that everything in life is an offer. Everything in your world is an offer. If it's in your world, it's here. Not only is it here, it's here for you. Because as these spiritual beings having a human experience, or these soulful players playing characters on the great stage of life, right? We are here to experience. We are here to have experiences and to grow through those experiences. And so whatever is in your world is an offer from the universe, from other humans that are also playing characters here, right? It's all offers. And so when we see something in the world that is really, really ooky, and there's just so many things to choose from right now, right? So when we see something in the world that's ooky, we can, ooky is my technical term for it, we can say, yes, I see that. I'm aware of it. I don't want it in my life, which is not blocking. It's still part of the acknowledging of accepting, right? Because then there's going to be the and. And this is the way I am going to offer into that, okay? So we're going to talk about the offering piece in a second, but when you're acknowledging that current reality, sometimes it just looks like, you know, have you seen what's on the news today? No, but I'm sure it wasn't happy, you know? We don't have to be completely involved in it or completely swimming in it to be accepting it, to be knowing that it is there. And a lot of times, I'll just say, I have been accused, seems like such a harsh word, of being a Pollyanna, or of not taking things seriously, or of sticking my head in the sand. Well, I am a card-carrying Pollyanna, I am. I will always see the good in everything. Guilty, totally. But when people are talking to me about that, and I have a few loved ones who will literally say something like, how can you be happy when this thing is happening in the world on the other side of the planet? Well, our happy, if we are saying to the universe, I'm only going to offer happy, I'm only going to offer good, I'm only going to offer love when I am receiving evidence from you and everything else that stuff's going okay. I'm only going to be happy when you give me something to be happy about. I'm only going to be positive when you give me something to be positive about. I'm looking for evidence out there that your offer is good enough to make me happy, and if it ain't, I ain't going to be happy in return. I'm going to offer you back lots and lots and lots of over-accepting of that offer. So in improv, we call over-accepting when you make an offer so important that it reaches the level of the ridiculous. It overwhelms or takes the place of the receiver's need to offer anything back except just an exaggerated accepting. So this was a concept created by a great improv guru master, Keith Johnstone, and he created over accepting as a way to create comedy. He was all about creating comedy. So it takes things very quickly to the ridiculous. You know, if you have two players on the stage and player one says, "It's my birthday," and player two goes, "Your birthday? Oh my God, how could I have missed that? Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, your birthday. Oh, is there a bigger holiday in the universe? I am so sorry that I missed your birthday. Wait, I'm gonna run, I'm gonna get good things, they could go on for 10 minutes, right? While player one just stands there, right? And then when player two gets done, over accepting in that moment, then all player one has to do is go, "Well, it's okay, we only just met." And then player two could go, "But wasn't it the best meeting? And I feel like I know you. I feel like I know you on a deep soul level, right? You are my best friend in the whole world." And then player one goes, "Well, yeah, but I have to go now." "You're going?" Right? So it's over-accepting. You're not having to come up with anything new. You're just having to dive into that, swim in that to the point of the ridiculous. It makes improv very fun and very easy for people that are afraid to do it, right? Because they don't have to think of anything. They just have to right? They're swimming in whatever that little tiny offer was that was made. So in improv, as in life, when we over-accept, we take ourselves to the ridiculous. Problem with life and over-accepting is, that ain't very funny, right? When we over-accept in life, when we make somebody else's offer so profound, so huge, we give it so much focus and attention that it overwhelms our response ability, that our focus on it becomes what we think is our offer, right? It's a ridiculous circumstance, and it's us abdicating our power, abdicating our creative ability, abdicating our ability to offer. So the key is not to over-accept. We don't want to say, "Yeah, things stink, so I'm just going to sit here on the couch eating Cheetos and watch it stink for a while, and then I'm going to talk to my friends about how bad it stinks, and then I'm going to talk to myself about how bad it stinks, and then I'm going to go have a cocktail to think about how bad it stinks." That's not offering. There's no "and" in that yes. There's just, "Yep, stinks, yep, me and my Cheetos are here on the couch having a good time with it," right? If you are knowing that everything that is happening is for you, everything is an offer, and an offer is there for you to respond to, right? It's there to inspire you. Chew on that one for a minute. Every offer in the world that you don't like, that seems icky, right? Seems horrible, it's there for you. If it's in your life, it's there on purpose. So what's it inspiring you to offer? Okay? Lots of people get stuck in the loop of trying to figure out, oh my gosh, what's the limiting belief that I have that's sticking me here? What's the pattern? What's my habit of thought? What's my blah, 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 whatever, what can I do? I can't do, and we get stuck in a loop trying to figure out how to offer. We start blocking right at the yes. We start saying, "Oh, I'm probably not good. There's nothing I can do. It's too big." Well, it's only too big because we over-accepted it in the first place. And there's a bunch of us over-accepting a lot of yucky right now. And we're not thinking that there's anything we can do about it. But remember that when we get stuck in something that is causing us pain or causing us sorrow or causing us frustration, whatever that thing is that happened that made you feel that way, it's over. It's already happened. It's already been offered. Now the audience of the great stage of life is just standing there waiting for you and everybody else to offer back. It's already happened. It's in the past. It's just a thought. Now, anything in the future that you're worried about, that's just your imagination. It hasn't happened. It's just a thought. Anything in the past that made you upset, and 30 seconds ago is the past. The beginning of this talk is the past. The words I said 5 seconds ago, that's the past. It's just a thought now. It has only the power we give it. It only reaches the ridiculous if we over-accept it, right? If we make it too important. And you or me or anybody else kind of wallowing in it is abdicating our responsibility. And one thing that every young actor has to learn is that you have 100% responsibility for your choices on the stage. Responsibility, not meaning blame or shame. Responsibility, meaning with the hyphen in the middle of the word. You have the ability to respond. You have the ability to make a choice. You have the ability to choose your offers. You have the ability to choose every time. Every time, in every offer. So, lots of blocking that we do can be kind of passive blocking, you know? We just are, we're not actively blocking. We're not out there going, no, it doesn't exist. No, it's not happening. No, I'm not listening to you. No, 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 no. We're not doing that. We're just feeling bad. That's our response. But feeling bad is not an offer. Talking smack about something isn't an offer. Right? Deciding to give up. Deciding there's no point. Deciding to just hate a bunch of people. All not offers. All not offers. Those are choices not to offer. Because in acting as in life, it's not about what you feel, it's about what you do. Acting is active. Living is active. It's about what do you do? Okay. Yeah, you see it. You have the opportunity to respond to that offer. What you gonna do? Okay? The key, a big key is not to over-accept, but also don't forget the and. When we're stuck in that energy of trying to find the reason and all of that, that's our protective personality. That's what Dr. Sue Morter calls it, the protective personality, this egoic self, this human that we're here as. And I love that because the ego gets a super bad rap, right? When we say, oh, that's your ego. You know, it sounds like it's a bad thing. But the protective personality sounds so nice. And the thing is, the protective personality protects us from lots of stuff that it's afraid will harm us in some way. And it does that based on past information. It does that based on the limiting beliefs that we've developed over time. And it's trying to save us from any embarrassment, any pain, right? And the protective personality can tend to be in fear. And any time that you are in fear, you are blocking. Necessarily, guaranteed, okay? So when you feel fear, same thing as when you see fear. When you feel fear, say yes. Oh, I feel that way. You know, I loved Becky's song about, you know, let the truth be told. You can't deny, I feel crappy right now. I feel afraid right now. I feel hurt right now. Say yes to that. To yourself, to your protective personality. Yeah, okay, I feel this. And what is it that I'm trying to teach myself? How did I put myself into this scene on the great stage of life? All of us, ladies and gents, in this room and those on social media, everybody on the planet, We are here now because we chose it. Everything that is in our lives is part of the lesson we wanted to go through so that we could experience that expansion, so that we could learn and grow and evolve as spiritual beings having this human experience. Right? So when we look at that offer, whatever it is, and acknowledging that in life, unlike on the stage, in life, an offer can be an offer that we're making to ourselves. It's happening in our own head, right? The thought that we're having, the feeling that we're having, that's an offer. Okay, I feel it. I get it. That's my yes. And now what am I trying to learn from this? What can I step into? What can I offer into my own life that will help me to move to the next place? Remember that any time that you feel pain, sorrow, frustration, uncomfortable, out of control, all reasons why we block, right? Anytime that you feel that, I have no idea where I was going with that thought. This is what happens when you just do it off the cuff. Oh, let's see. Those are all ways that we block. Oh, I'll come back to it. Who knows? Who knows? I know. Okay, I got it. Anytime that you are feeling those things, you are necessarily out of alignment with your soulful self. Because your soulful self is a spark of the divine, right? Your soul can see what's going on, the bigger picture. Came here in this body, squished itself into this little human experience for a reason, on purpose, with a purpose, right? And so if you're feeling frustrated, uncomfortable, angry, God forbid, hate, right? If you're feeling those things, you're necessarily out of alignment with your soulful self. You're seeing this situation differently than your soulful self, your player self is seeing it. So the choice is to get into alignment. And how do you do that? Same way an actor plays a character that they don't understand or plays a scene they don't understand. You find the love. So you look for the love in the situation, in the other person, in yourself, for others. When there is somebody outside of you in this world that is doing things that are so ooky, right? I told you that's my technical term. I'm stuck on it today. When they are doing something ooky, they are what the Dalai Lama would call your sacred friend. They are in your life, and his definition of a sacred friend is someone whose behavior is so egregious that loving them, having compassion for them, because the Dalai Lama is about compassion, right? Having compassion for them seems so difficult to do, because it's easy to love somebody who's easy to love, somebody who does everything the way you think they ought to do it. But somebody who does things in that awful, ooky way, they are your sacred friend because they are your teacher. They are causing your heart to have to expand in order to feel unconditional love for them. And unconditional love is not meaning, okay, I love you no matter what you do, yada, 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 and I love everything that you do, and that's okay, and you're just loved, and you're loved, and you're loved, and you're loved. That's not unconditional love. I'm talking about agape love. I'm talking about unconditional love on the level of being able to say, I honor that you are here for me. That you are a being with fears and pain and loves and desires. Get it? Yes, and this is how I'm going to grow from that. This is how I'm going to respond to that. We got lots of sacred friends out there in the world right now. So many sacred friends. They just show up every time you turn on the TV, every time you walk down the street, every time you drive your car anywhere. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. They're everywhere, right? So we have sacred friends. So let's know that that's an offer, that it's here on purpose. It's here to give us the opportunity to grow, to expand our heart. If we say to the universe, I will only offer happy and joy and love when I'm surrounded by people that are doing that for me. I will only be positive and know that there is a better. When you are showing me evidence before I get out of bed that you're making it get better for me. Right? You want to do something for me, universe? Do that. Okay? But remember, the universe is neutral. It's the greatest producer in the world. Any theater company would cut off their right arm collectively to have a producer that does what the universe does for us as actors here on the great stage of life. We say we want something, the universe goes, here. We focus on something, the universe goes, you like that? Here's more. You're still learning that lesson? Let me give you more. I'll give you more. You want more? You want more? And the universe doesn't distinguish between no and yes. It just notices what comes after the no or yes. I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want this. Right? Remember that game where you say, don't think of a pink elephant, and then that's all you can think of? Well, the universe is always getting the pink elephant, right? It's not wondering about don't think or do think. Pink elephant, here you go, right? So whatever you are focusing on, whatever you are placing your attention on, that is what the universe is filling up for you. And so if it's in your life, it's here. It's here for you. We are blocking when we are ignoring what is, okay? And when we find that unconditional love, when we find that agape love that is not dependent on conditions, right? Then we can feel that feeling even with all evidence to the contrary. We can expand our heart with our sacred friends. We can love what we want this to be. We can be focused on the vision of where we want to go. What do we want to see? That's what we can spend our time in meditation on or helping to create by going out into the world and doing things. We can love through gratitude. We can remind ourselves every day. We can offer unconditional love by finding everything in our world to be grateful for. Not just grateful for the sacred friends that are making us, break our brain to try to figure out how to unconditionally love that, but we are in gratitude for the simple things. Look at all the beautiful things we have. You just right here in this room, the lights are on, the heat, the candles light. We all got here in some form of transportation. We've all got clothes on, Some of us even have our pets with us. We're sitting with people that we love. We're sitting with people that are accepting us as we are, like Becky's song said, right? We have so much to be grateful for. And radical gratitude is one of the ways that we can have that unconditional love. If you can't find a big thing to be grateful for, find a tiny thing. Ooh, I'm grateful for the way my food tastes. I'm grateful that the water's running in my house. I'm grateful that I have carpeting because I wouldn't like it if my floor was cold today. Whatever. Everything you can think of, then you are offering into your own world all of that gratitude, all of that love. And when you're offering that love to someone else who might not in the conventional sense seem to deserve it, right? That sacred friend, okay? Remember that in acting as in life, one of the things that's hard for a novice actor to learn is that the way you get your worry off your own world is to remember it's all about making the other player look good. It's all about feeding the performance of the other player. If you can be on stage and you're terrified and you keep thinking, oh, what are they going to think of me? And what are they going to say? And how am I standing? And is my hair right? And did I just say that right? Are they laughing? What's going on, right? Instead of taking that in and letting that be the thing that causes you to just block all growth in that moment, then what you have an actor do is you have the actor focus on, how am I feeding my partner? How am I making sure that I'm helping them have the best experience possible? I'm a very generous actor in that moment. So the same thing is true in life. You want to get your worries off yourself? Then make it about bolstering the experience of another, of a player that you are sharing this great stage of life with. Get off the couch, put down the Cheetos, or give them the Cheetos, whatever. But do something, because acting is active. It's about what you do. So the agape love, the unconditional love, is a commitment. It is a commitment to show up in the world from a place of the energy of love. And another big acting truism is the idea of behaving as if. And I know usually people have heard that before. Acting as if it's true. Behaving as if it's true. Sounds very science of mindy, yes? So behave as if the world is as you wish it were. Behave toward everyone as if they were not just your sacred friend, but your beloved. We forget that if somebody's here on this planet, they've got all the same feels that we do. They've got the same stuff going on. It just looks different on them. When you live from love, when you live from unconditional love, agape love, when you live from that place of finding how to offer love, you can literally shift the universe. You can shift the energy of any situation. When I was young, I was a spiritual seeker from really young. And so when other people were out doing crazy things when they were 15 or 16, I was in my bedroom reading Emmett Fox. And my favorite Emmett Fox book is Sermon on the Mount, but I think this idea came from Power of Positive Thinking. And what he said was that anytime you're entering a contentious situation, that you pray that all the parties come to it out of love. And he said, watch, it'll transform the circumstance in a second. I was like, okay, I can't wait to put that one to the test. I'm going to try that. And my father, God bless him, my father was a lovely guy, and this is calling him out on something that, it sounds like he was a little difficult, and sometimes he could be, because he loved to argue. He loved to argue. And he would get really into it, and he'd get really contentious, right? And, when it was over, but the no that he put there, especially if we were arguing about something I wanted to do, right? That no would stay there. He would be fine with it once the argument was done, but I'd be in a puddle on the side of the room. So one day, I was reading Emmett Fox in my bedroom, and I came out, not thinking about that anymore. My mother was sitting at the dining room table balancing a checkbook, and my father was sitting on the couch, so it must have been a weekend. And I walked out. I wanted to do something. I wanted something to happen, and I started to talk to my father about it, and he started arguing, and I started arguing, and we were arguing, and it just led to nowhere, complete lockdown. And I was sitting there ready to cry, sitting in my chair. I'm ready to cry. My dad's over there, and he's not looking at me. And I just closed my eyes and said the prayer, the Emmett Fox prayer. And I just sat there and said it and said it and said it. Please let both of us come to this out of love. Please let both of us come to this out of love. Help both of us to come to this out of love. Just kept saying it. Maybe generously 2 minutes. probably shorter. And my dad looked up and he said, honey, I'm sorry. My mom just about dropped her teeth right there. Because that was not the normal way this went, right? I said, honey, I'm sorry. Let's start again. What are you trying to say? From that moment forward, always. If I was going into a tough situation, always. I'm walking down the hall toward a business meeting. Please let all parties come to this out of love. Because we can shift the energy of the universe. You are a unique creative genius. You are a powerful co-creator of this reality, right? What if, just what if, whether you've believed what I've said or not, just play a little what if game, another actor game. Play a little what if game with me for just a second. What if you were born in this time on purpose? You chose to be here now for a purpose. What if? How would you respond? What if you are here in this time because you picked it, you orchestrated it? You're here in Boise, Idaho, right here, right now, or wherever you are online because you picked it. This time, this place. You. Not somebody did it to you. Not the lightning bolt came down and dropped you somewhere in this body, but you picked it. What if you are writing this story? What if you're not just the actor? You're not just the character, but you're the playwright. And you are writing this story. And you're writing the global story in concert with a bunch of other souls who are all writing their story. What if that's true? Then how would you respond? What if you consider every single one of you pointed at directly, even though I probably haven't made eye contact with each and every one of you, but figure I'm talking to you, okay, and you. What if you are an amazing, powerful, divine spark of source energy manifest in human form? Spoiler, you are. You are this divine piece of creation. You are a creative force. You have the power to offer into the world whatever you want the world to be. You're here now for that reason. How are you going to respond? Remember to behave as if. Behave as you want the world to be. You know, there's the love your neighbor as yourself, right? Treat others, do unto others, right? Behave as you want this to be. Behave as if everybody is coming to this out of love. Embrace the obstacles. That's a fundamental acting premise. Nobody wants to play a role in a play where there is no conflict, there's no obstacles, there's nothing for the character to do. Nobody gets into a video game to play a character that doesn't have anything to do, that just gets the Cheetos and the couch, and there's the video game. No. That's not why we get into, where we play a character in a video game, or we play a character on the stage, or we watch a movie. We watch it because of the obstacles. That's where the magic happens. That's where the growth happens. That's where the learning happens. So embrace those obstacles. Say yes to them. Yes, I see you. I get it. This is hard. Got that. Now, here's my and. Here's my offer. Love is an energy. Love is energy, and energy is all there is. So you can literally change the world by changing your energetic response and be the offer of kindness that someone else can respond to. Be the offer that someone else can accept. View everything that happens in your world as an offer. And more than that, view everything that happens that comes to you in your world as an invitation to experience how deeply and how consistently you can love. Yes, and your life. Remember and never forget, I'll leave you with this final notion. When in doubt, offer. If in doubt, you are probably blocking. All right, my friends, thank you so much. Go out and yes and yourselves and have a great day.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sandra. Wow, a lot to think about. Now it is time for our last prayer of the day. And I have one that I want to share with you from the founder of religious science, the science of mind, Dr. Ernest Holmes. This is one of my favorites. It's a prayer of peace. I firmly believe that when we are peaceful within ourselves, that emanates out into the world. And it also opens us up for great things. It opens us up for more love in our life, more health in our life. Whatever those things are, it opens us up. And before I share that prayer, I want us all to hold in prayer for Reverend Jackie and Mary Borg as they are recovering from allergies and laryngitis, both of them. And also hold in prayer Cindy Boyce as she continues to grow stronger from her heart ablation. And Mo Kelly, she is recovering from ankle surgery. And Julie Adams, she had a stroke and she is now at home and recovering very nicely. So I invite you to simply close your eyes again as I read this prayer. It is entitled, Peace is the Power at the Heart of God. My peace is found at the heart of God. The heart of God for me is found at the very center of my being. It does not matter how closely the confusion of the outer world presses against me. I am not even disturbed by the confusion in my immediate environment. I know that the only way to counteract confusion is to bring peace into play. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth, I give unto you. These words of assurance stay with me, and I hear them re-echoing in the depths of my being. I surrender all of my fears, those nameless fears which have beset me for such a long time, dulling my pleasure and clouding my misery and apprehension, clouding me with misery and apprehension all of my days. I am now through with fear. What indeed is there for a divine and immortal being to fear? Certainly not people, for as I am a divine and immortal being, so is every man, and every man is my brother. I recognize the one life principle working in and through and inspiring the motives of everyone I contact. I do not fear sickness, disease, or death, because the eternal and perfect life animates my body and goes always about its perfect work, healing and renewing that body. I am not afraid of want or lack, for the one infinite essence supplies me with everything I need all of the time. There is nothing for me to fear, for I am an inseparable part of God. I live in God, God lives in me, and I draw upon God's perfect peace. My peace is found at the heart of God. And so it is. Peace and blessings.
Hi, guys. We're trying to divide duties today since Reverend Jackie's not here. I'm Bev Ballard. I'm your president of your board of trustees. And we would like to apologize to you for having to delay the annual meeting that was supposed to take place this afternoon after service. With Reverend Jackie completely losing her voice all week, it just was not possible. And also there's so much stuff to get ready, all the financials and all the things that reports and stuff that she has to get ready, and she just didn't feel like doing it this week. So we're sorry for the delay, but it will take place on April 13th after service again, and we'll have a light lunch as we had announced before. Okay, we also want to tell you again about the Key Queens annual fundraiser. It will be May 2nd, Friday, May 2nd, and it's Lisa Biddick-Lowe, who sings with us a lot of times. She's back from New Orleans, and her partner, Amy Trail, and they are just fantastic. If you haven't heard them, it's a real treat. So we'd love for all of you to join us, and all of you out in TV land. The tickets will be on sale shortly, and we'll announce that. What else here? We also are going to be asking for donations for the auction for the fundraiser. So if you have anything that, like from small to large, if you have like timeshares or you want to donate like a night of a motel or a hotel, a stay at a nice hotel somewhere, a nice dinner out somewhere, a gas card, a McDonald's certificate, just anything that we can auction off. It would be absolutely most welcome. And you would normally see Mary Borg, but she is also under the weather today, so she is not here either. But if you want to talk to somebody today, you can either talk to Cheryl Houdon, who's on the board, or myself, and we can get you in contact with the right people. Okay, let's see. We also just want to remind you that every Tuesday we have the 12-step program in the evening. I think it's like 7:15 or something like that. Okay. And on Wednesdays at noon, we have the noon meditation led by Reverend Jackie. And it's, I guess, been quite wonderful for the folks that have attended it. So you might stop by and do that at noon on Wednesdays. I know we had some first-time guests today. If you would raise your hand, we have just a little something we would like to give you. And the girls will... I screwed them up. They thought we were going to ask for donations first, but, I like to keep them active, so. Keep them on their toes. There's 2 right here, 2 over here, 1 right here. I think we had 6. Oh, there's 3 right here. Yeah. 3 here, 1 and 2. Thank you. Okay, let's see. Also, as always, we would like to ask for your support today. The church, goes strictly on donations that we receive from all of you, and we appreciate your donations so very much. And if you go online, there are several ways to donate, and you'll learn all about that. And please think about it. We are in need of donations. It's been difficult to get people offline and back in the seats. Everybody is so comfortable, sitting in their pajamas and having coffee, and I understand, but there is, a building to support and keep the heat on and the lights on and pay the musicians and Reverend Jackie, and it's a lot. And unfortunately, our donations have been down since COVID, and a lot of churches have closed, but we are hanging in there, and thankfully to your support, we are hanging in there, but we could sure use any more of it. If you're thinking about donating to something, we would be more than happy to be the recipient of that. So anyway, thank you so much for being here today, and we'll have our last song by Becky Borczon and the guys.
And this is in memory of Barbara. Do not wait until some deed of greatness you may do. Do not wait to shed your light afar. To the many duties ever near, you now be true. Brighten the corner where you are. Brighten the corner where you are.
Why don't you?
Brighten the corner where you are.
Why don't you?
Someone far from home may need a guiding star. Brighten the corner where you are. Just above our clouded skies that you may help to clear. Don't let selfishness your way debar. Though into one heart alone may fall your song of cheer. Brighten the corner where you are. Oh, I said brighten the corner where you are.
Why don't you?
Brighten the corner where you are.
Why don't you?
Someone far from home may need a guiding star. Brighten the corner where you are. Rex Miller. Here for all your talent you may surely find a need. Here reflect the bright and morning star. Even from your humble hand the bread of life may feed. Brighten the corner where you are. Oh, I said brighten the corner where you are.
Why don't you?
Brighten the corner where you are.
Why don't you?
Someone far from home may need a guiding star. Brighten the corner where you are. Ted McClurg. He walks that thing like a dog. Yeah, Phill Bowden on those drums. Very nice. Why don't you brighten the corner where you are?
Why don't you?
Brighten the corner where you are.
Why don't you?
Someone far from home may need a guiding star. Brighten the corner where you are. Two more. Brighten the corner where you are. Oh, I said brighten the corner where you
What a beautiful, joyful, uplifting song. Thank you. I won't ask you to do it again, although I'm tempted. Please stand and receive your blessing. May we all be blessed this week with experiencing the joy of peace within us. Peace and blessings.